What's going on, bikers? Back at you again today to talk about this trailer that I picked up to haul my father-in-law's motorcycle. He has a 2015 Suzuki Boulevard 800-pound motorcycle that we're going to be putting on this trailer and hauling across the country behind my Audi Q5. I got this trailer used off of Facebook Marketplace. It's a folding trailer similar to the ones that you'd see at Harbor Freight. And the previous owner had put the wood boards on there to create the floor. And they've also put in a bunch of these little hooks throughout, and it also has the front wheel chock. But they've got it all set up and ready to go. Apparently it's a 1,600-pound towing capacity, so should be perfect for the big bike that I got to take across the country to Texas. So just want to give you guys a little rundown of what we'll be doing to the trailer to get it ready to go. I mean, it's already got the lights and everything all set up, but I'm actually going to be replacing this wheel chock with a little bit more sturdy one for the bigger bike that actually has the locking mechanism on the back. And then we'll be getting all of the straps and tie downs and everything all set up for the bike. And then on this one, they actually have these pieces of wood, these wood guardrails here that are on each side. Got to take those off and actually then figure out how I can fold this thing in half. And that's what's cool about this, because it folds, it makes it easier to stow. And as you can see right now, it's taking up this whole space inside my garage. But once it's folded, it actually will stand up vertically on these wheels right here, which will allow me to position it upwards and then push it against the wall for easy storage. So the first thing I'm going to do is get to work on taking apart all of the little pieces that we're not going to need. There's so many eye hooks on here that we don't need, and I'm going to need to take some of them off in order to get this to fold. And I got to remove those guardrails, those wood guardrails there, and then obviously the wheel chock in the front, so I can get it to fold in half for storage. And then before we hit the road, I will be installing the new wheel chock and figuring out how to get the bike on this thing, and then I'll show you guys how to get the bike all tied down and ready to roll. So this is going to be the motorcycle trailer setup vid. All right, so I've got the trailer laid flat and ready to go to set up to tow. And what I'm going to do is reattach one of the chocks that came with it, this bigger one that I'm going to use for my bike on this side. And then I picked up this other heavy duty one on Amazon that was pretty slick, and I'm going to attach it on that side, because what I'm going to be doing is doing two bikes up. And when I got this trailer, it was set up for three, a bike in the middle, and then I had two other chocks on each side. So I'm gonna set this up for two. And what I'm gonna need to do is actually punch holes through the wood here underneath using the kit that came with the wheel chock, which has these long carriage bolts, these spacers, really nice equipment. And just drill right through the wood here to get that one in. And then I'm gonna do likewise on this one, but I don't have any hardware for this one, so I'm gonna have to go pick it up from the hardware store and then get those in place. And what I did some research on was understanding how best to tow, and they said put the heavier bike on the crown side of the tow. So for here in America, that's on the left side as you're driving. So I'll have the heavier bike, my father-in-law's bike, on this chock on this side, and I'll have my Triumph Thruxton, which is almost half the weight of his bike, on this side. And that way it helps to have some of the the weight balance while towing. And then I also heard that we need to have most of the weight forward from the axle. So I've got these things almost all the way to the front. And what I did is I brought them, the center of it, 9 inches off of the edge on each side. So that way the wheel comes right up, and then I'm actually able to loop a nice thick chain lock through the wheel and around the main crossbar rail here, which I'll show you guys once I have it set up. So next step is to get these all set up and installed. All right, guys, you're not gonna believe it, but I've got the bikes all set up now. And yes, I have this gigantic Suzuki Boulevard 1500 next to my Triumph Thruxton. It's actually quite amazing that this bike even fits on this trailer. Luckily, this is a trailer that's rated to 1,600 pounds. So there's plenty of weight, but look at how much that bike sticks out. It's like a bus of a bike. Anyway, so got everything all tightened up, strapped down. We actually used about, I don't know, a dozen straps just for safety measure. And I've got the ramp right there in the middle. So that's looking good. all set and ready to go. Oh, and as far as how I've got this thing locked up, I mean, whoever's gonna do this has their work cut out for them, but I put chain locks around there. I've got the disc brake lock on there, got a chain lock around there, and then I'm gonna throw a lock through the wheel to keep it from rolling away if I just so happen to remove the hitch for whatever reason. And then we also have the hitch lock when it's engaged and in place. And I've got a scissor jack just kind of holding it in place for when I back my SUV up and hook it up and hit the road. So wish me luck. I'll give you guys an update as we get a little closer to Texas. All right, so far so good. Trailer's holding up, bikes are holding up. I think I got up to 70 on the freeway, accidentally going downhill, and then also trying to pass. But I think we're doing pretty good here. No issues. Things are relatively tight. I'm calling this a pretty good success so far, but got a long way to go. Only 3 hours into it. Well, so the straps and everything are holding up, but cruising down the road, and as expected, what can go wrong will. We got a blowout just outside of Lancaster, California. So now we got to take the tire off and go find a new tire. All right, guys, the bike's made it safe and sound. I already took my Thruxton off. He's gonna try to load his big ass bike onto this ramp, which I don't think is gonna work, but whatever. The only issues we had were one of the straps, one of the cheaper straps broke, so we had to replace it. But other than that, the thing went over okay. I did get a tiny bit of damage. I don't want to call it damage, but looks like something might have hit my fresh paint here on my Rizoma windscreen and chipped it. And then just going down the freeway, this just started chipping more and more. So I'm gonna have to get that repainted, but otherwise she's mint here in Austin, Texas. And this is the new Tim's Garage. Decor and videos coming soon. Stay tuned.